Welcome to the SRG Sports Talk Show. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I'm hoping everybody's having fun with the hot dogs and everything else between. But I'm going to be talking about the NBA a little bit. The top 4 teams that I think might have good prospects in the NBA draft. Starting with number 4 would be the Philadelphia 76ers. I think the 76ers could be able to put potential draft picks within the normal parameters. Um, Despite that, if they can trade up and go for a second round pick, maybe 2 first round picks, and get rid of their first pick round, if they have first round, that will depend on anything else I'm trying to say. So, like I said, don't mind the fireworks. So 76ers would be perfect enough to do what they can for the most part. And where it lies, it'll lie. So the third one is Miami Heat. Miami Heat has a good spot in this draft. I think the Miami Heat could be able to steal a couple of picks from Chicago Bulls, to the New York teams, which I'm not surprised if they do. I mean, Brooklyn or New York Nets, they would be very solidible to do what they have to do in this. I mean, 76 could be able to do it. Miami Heat do have a couple potential draft picks within the parameters of this. I'm not saying it's crazy to where, yeah, there's a possibility they might be able to trade up. Maybe with the Hornets, maybe with the Raptors, the Pistons, they might be able to trade up with those 2 teams in the draft. Phoenix Suns might be able to move down the chain and try to get a couple of potential draft picks. But it depends on the pacing, business, if they decide to go ahead. Now, the Phoenix Suns, I'm a little worried about because they haven't been playing good in the NBA lately. They've lost about a couple of potential games in the last couple of years. They're trying to rebuild their strategy. And number 1 would be New York. So, I think both New York teams would be potential to get number 1 picks overall. But my number 4 pick on this top race for the draft would be the 76ers overall, because they might be able to get potential draft picks with Miami Heat, maybe the Phoenix Suns, maybe Chicago Bulls, maybe the Pistons, maybe a couple other teams and down the line. Maybe the Raptors. I don't know. But if I was the GM for both New York teams right now, even though they're 2 separate teams, I would really look. I mean, if I was the GM or the owner for both New York teams in basketball right now in the NBA, I would try to take a look at who we're going to get. From a point guard to a shooter to a free thrower. If they can shoot the free throws, yeah. If they can pass, yeah. But that's going to be the issue. And I think Hornets and Miami might have a problem here. Timberwolves might be another problem, because Timberwolves do need a lot of picks this month. Milwaukee Bucks would be another one, because they got another potential draft picks. But out of these 4, I would say Phoenix Suns, both of the New York teams. I didn't write them both down. I just said both of the New York teams. Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers might have potential draft picks for this. These are my top 4. And they might have some good draft picks this year. Despite the fact that they can get it done, yeah. There is a possibility they can get it done. But where it lies, where can they go from here? That's going to be the issue there. That's going to be the coup de grace within the parameter of this. So, where would it lie? You can't really tell where anything else happens. But no, both of the New York teams, the Brooklyn and New York Nets, they would be able to put out a way of knowing both these New York teams, both New York Nets and the Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, they could be able to look at where would they go. Where would they go from here if they both signed potential draft picks? Maybe in the third round, maybe in the first round. I'm thinking maybe the first round. So, but if Miami, Philly, and the 76ers, Philadelphia 76ers, can be able to steal those picks from New York, doesn't matter what round they got, they can do it. Now you gotta worry about Chicago Bulls. You gotta worry about the Hornets. You gotta worry about Houston, Orlando. You gotta worry about these teams. They're in a good spot right now where they can try to get potential draft picks, but that's going to be a problem with that team with anything else. I think New Orlando Magic might be able to put in the perspective for the draft. That's if they can. I mean, that's if they can, for the most part. But Phoenix Suns and Miami 76ers and both New York Nets and the Brooklyn Nets might have a chance. For all those teams that I mentioned, they might have a chance in the draft to really push for potential picks in this NBA draft. Question is, can they do it? They might do it. I mean, they might. Overall, they might. Depending on what they can do with these draft picks is a certain degree. But these are my 4 top teams that might have an edge in this draft. And knowing what they do in the free agency, knowing what they have to do in the free agency, when they have to do it, there's going to be an issue there. There's going to be a pretty big issue where it is. But where it lies, well, we don't know. But I would say that the Phoenix Suns, Miami, 76ers, and both the New York teams have an edge on getting potential point guard or free forward. Getting a face-off guard. That's one thing they got to worry about in the NBA. So, but that's all I want to discuss for this episode. Enjoy the 4th of July fireworks if you're doing fireworks. But until next time, John Vic sign off for the SRG Sports Talk Show. So until next time, take care. And let me know in the comments down below, what teams do you think could have an edge in the NBA draft this month? Let me know. So, for the SRG, take care.